One of the displays here at the London Concours 2021 at the Honourable Artillery Company is a special celebration of Italian sports cars, or Italian exotica if you like. So let's take a look at some of the examples they've got on display here today. So of course we've got to start with probably the absolute star of this collection, which is a 1966 Ferrari 275 GTB 6/C. I do not know how much this car is valued at, but I suspect it'll be quite a lot. If you do know, put your comments or your answer in the comments, and that would be interesting to share with us. This is an alloy body car with the 6 carburetor specification. Only 442 of these were made, and this is one of only 12 lightweight examples of the car that were made in 1966. Interesting thing, we just talked about the value of the car, but how much was it actually sold for? Well, when it was finished, it was exported to Luigi Chinetti Motors to New York, and they sold it for $14,612. Can you believe that? Next to this 1961 Alfa Romeo Giulietta Sprint Zagato on the right, slightly oddball looking color, but it's got a roll cage and everything, so this is definitely a dedicated race car. I don't know if you can make that out, but I'm more interested in this thing because this is beautiful. This is a 1960 Alfa Romeo Giulietta Sprint Special, directly descended from the iconic Berliner Aerodynamica Technica bat designs that were penned in the 1950s by Franco Scaglione. So it has a drag coefficient of just 0.29, and it was intended for competition. It had a 1290cc all-alloy 4-cylinder power plant with Weber side draft carburetors, and it could get to almost 120 miles per hour. There's a plastic air deflector located ahead of the windscreen, more commonly seen in Ferraris of that era. What a pretty thing though. Next to this 1969 Fiat Dino 2400 Coupe is something that's more interesting, and one of my favorites, which is this, the Maserati Ghibli. This is a 1969 example. I did actually drive one of these, owned by Tamini Collections in Dubai, for the Autocrats TV show that I did for Fox TV. And this one, only 1,170 Ghiblis were built during the model's 6-year run, of which only 700 survive today. And this particular car was ordered with options included the Barani wire wheels, as you can see there, with a Ferrero 3-spoke leather steering wheel. I wonder if you can see the steering wheel on the inside of the car. In 1991, a body and mechanical restoration was carried out by its owner, a guy called Rocky, with invoices totaling more than $100,000 on this car. And he still had it till 2014. Now it's in the UK. And in 2017, it underwent another full restoration. Took about 2,000 hours. And it's now regarded as one of the best examples of the Giugiaro Ghibli in the world. What, better than the one I drove? All right then. This is another magnificent thing. It is, of course, the 1971 D Tomaso Mangusta. This particular car has literally just been restored just in time for this show. Now, the Mangusta story involves, Cobra creator Carroll Shelby. It involves Peter Brock, but ultimately it was designed by Giulietta Giugiaro, as with the Ghibli, who was with Ghia at the time, bought by Alejandro Di Tomaso in 1967. It was built on the Vallelunga chassis with a Ford V8. And you can't see it at the moment because they're not open, but it's got these very distinctive gull wing doors that are open here at the back, so you could probably make them out just from the way that the rear of this car is configured to reveal the engine underneath. They are very spectacular. I wish it was open because it would look amazing. And 401 Mangustas were built, and it paved the way for the Pantera that followed it. This is a 1968 Issa Grifo GL 635, quite rare, but very beautiful. I mean, just look at the lines, particularly from this angle on this car. And it's got an American heart. These were actually powered by Chevrolet Corvette V8 engines because the engines were regarded as tough. They were regarded as reliable, and this thing could do 140 miles per hour, 140 miles per hour, making it one of the fastest world production cars at the time. It's a, Italian style, American muscle. This one was built in July 1968, exported to the US, went to Canada in the mid-1990s, and shipped back to Europe after that. Full restoration was commissioned between 2004-2008 and bought by its current owner in 2018. Here's another amazing car. It's a 1961 Ferrari 250 GT short wheelbase CFAC hot rod. CFAC, S-E-F-A-C. The chassis is the one, believe it or not, 2735 GT, raced by none less than Sir Stirling Moss. And in fact, he won the most races too, it says. In fact, he took no fewer than 5 victories in this car, including at the Goodwood Tourist Trophy in 1961. It was also raced by Graham Hill as well, alongside Moss in the 1961 Le Mans 24-hour. It gained a GT lap record. In the 1962 Tourist Trophy, it actually crashed into John Surtees' GTO and Jim Clark's Aston Martin Zagato. My God, this is just dripping in name dropping, really, isn't it? And the body was later reinstated. The car boasts Ferrari Classic certification. It's been with the same owner for 37 years now, and it is regularly used on the road apparently. Wow, that's incredible. This is a 1961 Lancia Flaminia GT. The Lancia Flaminia range was launched in 1957 as a V6 engine successor to the fabled Aurelia, it says here. By 1959 it was joined by a Pininfarina-bodied coupe, a touring body GT. So I guess that's what this one is. By 1965, when the last of the Flaminias were built, Touring had made 2,748 examples of this very, very elegant machine, as you can see there. They were aluminium skins stretched over a tubular steel frame according to the Superleggera principle. This 1961 car is a 2.5 litre 3C triple carburetor. Increased power by 20 horsepower up to 140 brake horsepower over the single carburetor models. It was acquired by the current owner in 2007, and it's actually been a weekly driver that's been gradually restored over 20 years, lives most of its time in the German Eifel Mountains. Wow, what a beauty, so elegant. What a nice place to be. Wouldn't you like to drive that? Such an elegant thing. Very different from Lancias as kind of I associate with them, so to speak. Final Italian car to cover is not one that's in the lineup. It's again in Harry Metcalfe's collection. He's featured here as a collector. This is his 1987 Ferrari Testarossa Monadado, it says. And this is the car that he famously tried to recreate, or did in fact recreate, the Car Magazine feature where they drove the Testarossa to the Sahara. And he did the same thing with this one. And so you can see it's a well-used example. Just look at the trim. Just look at the rubber seal along there. I don't know if you can make it out, but it's quite wrinkled. But you know, it's being put to its paces, and that's a good thing. And it is absolutely a resplendent thing, almost as pretty as the Esprit next to it. Okay, go on, it is pretty staggering. There is no car more 1980s than the Ferrari Testarossa, and these are rocketing in value right now. Wow, you're onto a winner if you've got one of these. Hope you enjoyed that video. If you did, make sure you're subscribing to youtube.com/browncarguy and hit the bell icon and turn on notifications so you don't miss any of my videos. Whilst you're at it, subscribe to browncarguy.com and follow me on social media by just searching for my hashtag. That's on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, and even on TikTok. If you love my content, then please consider sponsoring and supporting it, and you can do that over at patreon.com/browncarguy.
And you know what? You can use my platforms to promote your product, service, or brand. My YouTube channel is now closing in on 3,000 subscribers as I record this. Total views are nearly 500,000, and the reach just over the last month is nearly 1 million. So join these amazing people as my patrons, including Mohammed Umaid in the UAE, Partha in India, a tech guru and social media consultant. Find him on parthans.com. Tom Conway Gordon here in the UK, Isaac Beauchard in the US. He's got some great deals on cool cars at bespokeautos.com. Reza Adil, check him out at Alizadeh Cigars on Instagram. Mohammed Qasim, business consultant. You can find him at wehms.com. Siraj Abbasi at Tiles Italia on Instagram for luxury floor and wall tiling. Mark Waddell in Canada. Zach Kogiani, a globe-trotting pilot with amazing images for sale at zachkogiani.com. And last but not least, my school champ Shaheer Hakki. Thanks for watching. More cool vids on the way. Catch you again in the next one.